Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating alternative to the calendar we use every day. Imagine a calendar that wasn't based on old administrative rules, but on the actual architecture of the sky itself.
So, let me start by asking you something. Have you ever had that feeling where the days and weeks just kind of blur together? Like time is just this grid you have to get through rather than something you're actually in sync with?
Well, it turns out that feeling might be coming from the very calendar we use. The Gregorian calendar is, when you think about it, just an administrative grid. It's an abstract way of counting, and it's pretty disconnected from the cycles we can actually see. But today's explainer looks at a different idea, the Lunisolar-Gaia calendar. This system sees time as an observable rhythm, a literal architecture built from the sky.
So, let's get into it. The whole philosophy here is about creating a system that's not based on some historical convention, but on the tangible, predictable, and honestly beautiful rhythms of the cosmos.
So what exactly is it? Well, the Lunisolar-Gaia calendar is a system that organizes time as something you can actually see and feel. It's anchored to the real March equinox, its months follow the true cycles of the moon, and it even pays attention to things like the variations in light and tide.
And here's the fundamental shift, the real game changer. We move away from just counting, so instead of just marking off another day on a grid, the whole point is to experience the rhythm of time. Those natural cycles of building up to a peak, and then the gentle descent that always follows.
All right, so let's take a look at how this whole architecture is built. We're going to start with the big picture, the structure of the year itself.
In this calendar, a year isn't just a year, it's called a solar cycle. And it makes a lot more sense, right? It runs from one March equinox all the way to the next one, following the actual solar year. And check out this formula. You just add 745 to our current year. What that does is anchor this calendar to a much older continuous count of cycles.
Now, each of those solar cycles is divided into 12 lunations, which are basically the months. But unlike January or August, these names are so much more poetic. Names like Silent Luna, Rit Luna, Flux Luna. The idea is that each one represents a gestural archetype. Basically, each month's name captures a core feeling or action like silence or rhythm or flow.
And here's what's so cool. This whole system isn't just arbitrary. It's grounded in a real, verifiable historical event. It's day zero. Its absolute anchor point is a total lunar eclipse that was actually observed in Babylon way back in 746 BCE. How wild is that?
Okay, so we've seen the yearly cycle. Now let's zoom in a little bit on a single month, or lunation, and see how it reflects the rhythm of the moonlight. Every lunation has a nice, clean 30 days, numbered 0 through 29. But, and this is a big but, they're not organized into our standard 7-day week. Instead, they're grouped in a way that directly follows the moon.
Yeah, instead of weeks, the days are grouped into 10 triads, which are sets of 3 days. And the logic behind these groupings is just so simple and beautiful. It's based entirely on the percentage of visible moonlight in the night sky. You can literally just look up to know where you are in the cycle.
And you can see exactly how it begins here. That first triad, days 0 to 2, that's the new moon with almost no light at all. Then the next 2 triads show the moon waxing as the light steadily grows all the way to 30%. The rhythm is just built right in.
What's really crucial here is that this structure actually respects the real pace of the moon. As you can see, the peak triad, HMW, is centered right on the full moon. This system reflects how the moon seems to have a shorter ascent to full brightness, and then a longer, more gradual descent back into darkness, just like what really happens up in the sky.
Okay, so we've got all these pieces, the solar cycle, the lunations, the triads. How would you actually read a date in this system? Let's make this whole thing concrete. It's a beautifully logical 3-step process. You just start with the biggest unit, the solar cycle, then you find which of the 12 lunations you're in, and finally, you pinpoint the exact day within that lunation. Simple.
Take a look at this. Our familiar February 14th, 2026 becomes this incredibly rich, descriptive line of text. S2770 is the solar cycle. L10 Tramaluna tells us it's the 10th lunation, and D27 Silent tells us it's the 27th day, deep in the waning phase of the moon, almost back to silence. It tells a whole story, doesn't it?
So, after exploring this whole intricate and poetic system, what's the big idea? What are we supposed to take away from all this?
The core takeaway is really this profound shift in how we see things. It suggests that time doesn't have to be some abstract grid that we just impose on the world. It can be understood as a living, breathing architecture, a structure that we actually inhabit, one that's built from the fundamental elements of silence, light, and rhythm.
And that leaves us with one last provocative thought. The Lunisolar-Gaia calendar is one vision of time as an architecture. But if you weren't confined to our current grid, what natural rhythms, what personal milestones, or what cosmic cycles would you use to build your own calendar?